we discovered a massive need for women to find an identity surrounding being a woman and an entrepreneur. I'm Marley.
And I'm Rachel. Women like us, women who are the primary earners in our families,
are searching for identity, community, visibility, permission.
A place to be heard and supported.
We are leading with our vulnerability to allow others to feel safe.
We are strong
and feminine. We are breadwinning women. Welcome to this episode of Breadwinning Women. We are with the one and only fairy godmother, Michelle Ruby Gomez.
Hi, how's everyone doing?
You guys have to hear this story. We met Michelle in May, just a few months ago. Rachel and I were at our inner circle meeting at ClickFunnels, and Michelle took the stage and she told her story. There was not a dry eye in the room.
We were absolutely bawling. I mean, this was a story that spoke to every single person in our entire mastermind, and we just knew we need to connect with this woman because she's got a mission that is so much bigger than just herself. Like it's, I don't even want to spoil it. I can't even do it justice. So we wanted to share with you guys the story of Michelle, the fairy godmother, the real life fairy godmother in the Rocky Mountains, as well as share with you guys kind of what we've been doing today.
Yeah, because after we heard her story, both of us said, we need to be a part of this mission, and we planned that we were going to come to Denver, which we're here today, and we're in Michelle's home. Thank you for having us.
Yay,
dinner was great. And we are making some amazing content with her that we can't wait to show the world, because the world needs to know who Michelle is, what she's doing, and why she's doing it. So I want to introduce you to Michelle, and I got to warn you, every single time we talk about this, we can't hold back the tears. So I'm just warning you. I mean, maybe we won't cry.
Not likely. Not likely.
But like 10 out of 10 times we have so far. So Michelle, we talked today about why you do what you do, and you said that the biggest thing was you wanted to give young girls hope and happiness, and that no young girl or child, because it's not just girls, I mean the majority of your clientele are female, but never have to feel stress or sadness or tragedy kind of that you went through. So can you first of all, let's get Michelle to explain what her business is.
So I'm in the fairy tale business. I provide experiences for kids of all ages. I turn them into fairies, mermaids. We also provide a Santa experience. So when you come to my studio, we transform you into a beautiful mystical creature, or we provide you an experience with Santa Claus.
And we got to experience it today.
Which is why my hair is so big. Literally, because fairies and mermaids can't have small hair. So we've got big hair, lots of makeup, but it's so amazing. So Marley experienced it today.
I tried to take some of my makeup off, but like some of it's just stuck on, and I gotta scrub it.
Glitter for days.
Glitter for days, and it's like all over my clothes and shoes, and it's great. We had the best time, and so we got there this morning, and we got our hair and makeup done, and we got put into these gorgeous, amazing outfits. She has outfits for children and adults of all ages, and she does photography for Fairytales, for not only, I mean, young girls and boys, like she has for boys, your pirates. Anything else?
We have like little Peter Pans, but definitely our most popular, I think, right now is mermaids and fairies.
Yeah. But now you need to hear the story about why she does this.
Okay, so we're gonna take a trip down memory lane, but first of all, I would really, here we go. So I would really like to publicly thank these ladies. Like, I mean, this is a perfect example of women helping other women and believing in them. Like these two beautiful girls, like, believe in me so much that, like, they came here. Like, who does that? Nobody does.
See? It's happening.
No, like for real, like
We love you.
wow, I love you. It's like who believes in your message and what you do so much that like, you know, they didn't charge me anything. They came with their families. There's a big RV park out there.
Yep.
It's true.
Rachel has 3 babies and her husband and Marley. She came all over from Canada, and it's like every time I think about them, it's like I thank God is like how like when women support each other and, you know, help lift each other. I mean, that has never happened to me before, and these ladies are just so awesome for that. So yeah, sorry. I can't hold back because it's like when somebody believes in you so much like that, it's like real emotional.
But it's also like the reason why it inspired us so much is because you do that for so many women, young girls. It instills confidence in them from such a young age. It takes them out of their experiences or their circumstances. So
no, thank you.
That's
Thank you.
part of your
Thank
story.
you guys. That's pretty amazing. It all part of my story is I had an alcoholic father, and he was real abusive towards my mom, and they used to fight a lot. And the only thing that got me through that stage in my life was to, you know, like dream that I was part of these fairy tales and I was going to a faraway land and I was being transformed into like a fairy or a princess, and you know, because there would be fighting and there would be glass shattering and them hitting the walls, and it was sad because like I never like honestly I thought my mom was gonna die like every time, you know, like they were fighting and I always thought, is my mom gonna make it? And you know, I love my mom. Like I didn't want her to die. So I used to go to these faraway lands. And I said, when I grow up, I want to do something to help other people. And, you know, no little girl should have to experience this. And nobody, you know, I want to bring joy to the world. I want to spread the message. And I want to bring relief and love and joy and happiness to these girls that could be experiencing either an alcoholic father, an abusive mom, a terminal illness. I mean, they could be sick, just anything. I really want to help as many children as we can. So I am looking for fairy godmothers to help me do this.
Yeah, and we have fairy god. Yes, I am a fairy godmother.
We're fairy godmothers.
We're the first recruits. Top 2.
Top 2.
And so when we heard this story, we were crying as we are now. And it's fun. We've heard this story multiple times because we scripted things. We had meetings before we came out here. We filmed it today, and I'm going to make her tell her story again with a different backdrop and just awful. And, you know, you got to have different locations. And every time we hear it, it's still just as touching. And it's because you feel so deeply that Michelle has created her business and created this from such a deep purpose. And when she was telling her story today, like my husband also is tearing up, and I think everyone can relate in some way, whether they've been affected or know someone, or I mean, even if you didn't have a personal experience, it's something that you just are so sympathetic for that it's hard not to get emotionally involved in something so wonderful like this, and a movement that Michelle's creating to make these happy experiences for little girls, for their families. Like every single parent and child should experience what Michelle creates. And we hope that this becomes as big as like Build-A-Bear, these, you know, the things that families go and do on a Saturday afternoon, that cities all over the world will have fairy tale experiences, and that there are thousands of other fairy godmothers able to do what Michelle is doing too.
One of the things that amazes me the most is that so many times, like, things in life happen to us and we allow it to affect, sorry, I'm like a big snotty mess over here. Not snotty as in rude, snotty as in we're crying. it's really interesting because I think a lot of us oftentimes let it affect us negatively. Like the bad things that happen in our lives, it's like an anchor. It weighs us down when we don't realize that sometimes that bad thing could be the catalyst for something so good. And so one of the things that Michelle did that's amazing is that she took her bad experience and what her experience was of being in that room thinking like, I wish I were a princess in a faraway land. And she turned it literally into that opportunity, that escape for little girls. And it's just, to me, that's so rare because I think so often we get stuck in those patterns. And now here's the thing I do have to say, like Michelle is someone who not only does this in her business, but she in her life.
Oh my gosh.
Like she spreads magic everywhere she goes and everything she touches. I mean, we literally just found out. I wish everyone could see this, but she's like, you have to see something outside. Like look outside the window, and we're in her basement. We looked outside the window, and in the, what are these called? Window well. Yes, that's what it is. Inside of the window wells are little magical villages,
like fairy
like little mini gnome villages. And Michelle just puts magic everywhere she goes and with everything that she touches. And that's what she's honestly dedicated her life to. She truly is a fairy godmother.
And you can see it in her children too. Like I met her kids yesterday. I met Yorim, her oldest son, at Inner Circle and at events, but her two youngest, 5 and 3, that's the right ages. I walk in and the 5-year-old boy comes up to me and gives me a hug already, and I'm like, oh, hello. And then the 3-year-old girl too, very similar, just like not you know how some kids are very shy up front, like they were just right away like holding my hand, hugging me. Even your 5-year-old today kissed me on the lips when I got home. I was like, okay. I was like, hi. Okay. Love him so much. And we were out this morning. I woke up and I was like, I can't wait to go upstairs and see the kids. And we're at the photography studio. I can't wait to go home and see your kids because just everyone around you
is overflowing with love.
Yeah.
And that stems from you.
Thank you.
So
there come the love. How many times? 3 times?
It's so amazing, and we're so excited because honestly, it's going to be amazing to see the world find out about what Michelle is doing up here in the Rockies. Are we technically in the Rockies?
Rocky Mountains.
Okay. Rocky Mountains. Okay, just making sure. But it's going to be amazing to see it honestly hit so many people and transform so many lives.
And we hope that you'll help us with spreading this message because we're creating some amazing videos. Rachel is going to work her magic on making them go viral, and we want your help to continue to spread the message and make it go viral and have everyone know that Michelle is the fairy godmother, that we're recruiting more fairy godmothers, that we have millions of children and families to give this experience to and give them love and hope and confidence and happiness. And just we'll post some of our pictures when we have them because we got to go through the experience. Rachel's kids got to go through it, and we got to dress up as fairies, and then we got to dress up as mermaids, and it was just incredible. We got to meet 2 kids from Make-A-Wish this afternoon, and it was you guys, I just can't wait to show you what's coming.
Yes.
I feel like there's nothing else we can say to top that. It's been one of the most rewarding days, and I'm excited because this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
Like just capturing it, experiencing it was just a portion of it. What happens next is going to be amazing and exciting. And a lot of it is the magic of putting the story together and then making sure that that story reaches as many people as possible.
So we can't wait for you to see it. And please go follow Michelle, Fairytale Experiences. That's on Facebook and on Instagram, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And she's in Denver, Colorado for anyone, or it's Lakewood, Colorado?
Lakewood, yeah.
Just outside of Denver. So if anyone wants to experience this themselves, which I can guarantee this is, like, I see all the hearts going crazy on Facebook Live. This is an unreal experience. Even if you don't have kids, like I loved it so much, and it made me want to have kids so that I could do this with them. So.
And to be honest, like after having kids, you know, your body doesn't always stay in the same places. And one of the things that was amazing is through this experience, I felt so beautiful and like my body felt honored, if that makes sense. Like the way that Michelle handled everything, if you're like, oh, well, I don't want to take photos, I don't feel great about the way that I look. I mean, I was in a mermaid outfit and she was like, okay, and then hold this shell right here. And I was like, thank you. Thank you. I'm appreciating that. The whole experience was just so uplifting as a woman, as a mom, as a wife. It was incredible.
Oh, and the photos.
They're amazing.
I'm going to show just there's a calendar right here. And unfortunately for people on the podcast, you're not going to be able to see this, but you can go to see Fairytale Experiences on her Facebook or her Instagram. But for the people who are watching, you can see how, I want to show you the top one because these are her kids, the little mermaid and the pirate right there. And she works with kids from Make-A-Wish. She does experiences like this with little girls, with little boys, with their families, lots of mommy and me experiences, which like Rachel was saying, some moms might think, well, I feel insecure about doing photos like that. Absolutely not. It is the most uplifting experience. Obviously, I'm not speaking from experience. I'm not a mom and I can't speak to that. But from hearing all of the stories and the testimonials from the moms today, it's just, look at this. Like, I have no words.
And that's impressive. This is Marley. I'm just kidding.
I still don't have words. But yeah, so we wanted to introduce you to Michelle tonight because she's going to be huge, and we hope to be a part of spreading that message and continuing to spread the love and the hope and the happiness for all these families and children that are just waiting for it. So join us next week. We're back every Wednesday with a new episode of Breadwinning Women. If you're listening to the podcast, we'd love if you'd leave us a review or subscribe to us at breadwinningwomentv.com. That's our YouTube channel. And we will see you next week.
Bye, ladies.